Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. If you remember yesterday, I mentioned when we were talking about some books that I should have talked about David Newman's books. Well, surprise, surprise, I'm going to talk about David Newman's books this morning because you can't have too many books, right? I saw a cup that I should have bought. It said something like, more books, more coffee, something like that on it. I should have bought it because it went with this show so well and my philosophy, books and coffee. Reading is so important. I'm drinking out of a Wharton mug this morning. I think reading helped my daughter get there for sure. She's on her way back from London. She should be landing sometime today in Philadelphia. She texted a bunch this morning. She had a great trip to London. And, my daughter, the overachiever she is and the world traveler she is, found out she's going to go back to Rome before she comes home for Christmas. A different friend was going to go to a trip to Rome, and it worked in her schedule. So she was in London visiting a friend. She's going to go back to Rome with a friend and then come home for Christmas. Just a world traveler. And I think reading has helped get her there. And so I wanted to share some books this morning that are by a friend of mine, David Newman. Way back when, and this was quite a few years ago, more than 10 years ago, this was his first book, Do It Marketing. I got a signed copy here from David, and just a great book on marketing. I mean, this is where David shines. Usually I'm interviewing and talking with self-defense authors, and Barry Eisler was sort of in that line. He has a judo background, a CIA background. His characters are all operators and highly competent in firearms and hand-to-hand and all of that. David's completely different. David is the guy you go to not to learn how to punch somebody, but learn how to punch up your marketing and learn how to sell and speak and make a career out of doing whatever you're doing. These books, they're up there with the top books. I mean, when I think of who would I like to learn when it comes to marketing, speaking, or selling, there's a couple names that rise to the very top, and David is one. Jeb Blunt would be another, and who am I thinking of? I am thinking of, why is his name escaping me? I will be right back because I want to make sure I get that name. Why can't I think of him? Jeffrey Gitomer, who's also, I got a bunch of his signed books. So I couldn't think of Jeffrey Gitomer. I don't know. That's my brain right now is fried. I dozed off after midnight working on the course and was up early working on the course. So my brain is there. Jeb, Jeffrey, David. Those are the top three go-to guys when it comes to marketing and selling. David's books are they're full of actionable stuff. In these first three, 77 instant action ideas to boost sales, maximize profits, crush your competition for marketing. Do It Speaking, 77 instant action ideas to market, monetize, and maximize your expertise. And then Do It Selling, 77 instant action ideas to land better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. Again, just full of actionable, great strategies and things that you can implement to sell. And you notice the theme for all of those books, the Do It, the 77. Well, now he switched gears, and I don't have the hardcover yet. I only have it on Kindle. But this book is a lot smaller. Instead of 77, there's 22 strategies to build a bold personal brand, become a business celebrity, and drive unstoppable growth. So Market Eminence sort of steered away from the first three books, but it's still one of those books that has a bunch of actionable things, and it really helps create the mindset to build your brand and dominate wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. So I wanted to share those 3 or 4 books because Market Eminence just came out. I only have it on Kindle. It'll be out in hardcover and so forth in January, and I'll probably pick up a copy then, just to add to the other 3 hard copies. Just a wealth of information. And I wanted to share those with you today, let you know about those resources, but also to encourage you to come on to Tuesday's show, because I'm going to have David on here on Tuesday, and I want you to be able to ask him questions about selling, about marketing, about speaking if you're a speaker, about building your brand if you're working on building your brand and trying to have market eminence, how to create your brand where you stand out in the crowd so people recognize you and do what you're doing, whatever that might be. All of us are looking at trying to stand out in one area or another, and David's mindset and things that he looks at in that book can help you do so. I'm going to be trying to implement more of them as I try to help people and stand out in the safety, self-defense, situational awareness areas, as well as the communication and help people de-escalate and be more effective communicators. So those are areas that I'm looking at David's stuff so I can stand out there. So I really just wanted to introduce David today and give people a little preview of what's coming up Tuesday, so you'll be here. And you'll be here prepared to ask David some questions if you have questions on anything to do with those topics we just looked at. He is a wealth of information and has more energy than most people need quadrupled, right? I mean, the guy is energetic, dynamic, go, and he has a lot of stuff that he can share with folks. And I wanted just to give people that preview so they could come prepared to ask him questions and not miss Tuesday's show. Want to say good morning to some people. Thad is here. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you being here and saying good morning. Jay and Vicky are here, or Jay's here. Yep, they're both here. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Vicky. Appreciate you guys showing up. Mitchell's here. Take on a hard subject like tolerance and force control. I'm on a mission myself. No offense. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, are you wanting me to talk about that, or is that what you're talking about? Tolerance. Yeah, I mean, we all need to step back and have a little bit more tolerance these days. So that's definitely for sure. Thank you all for being here. Again, David's going to be here Tuesday. Encourage you to check out that show if you're at all interested in marketing, selling, dominating your market, whatever topic that might be. Tell others that might be interested so they can show up and talk to David and get some information from him. I'm going to be asking him questions to share some valuable stuff, but if you're here, ask him those questions so you can get those answered. I'm getting back, got the newsletter to put out this evening. I worked on that a little bit this morning. I was working on the course this morning. I'm trying to launch that, get that out for the early bird sale. It's going to be cheaper until the end of the year than it'll ever be, because the price will go up on January 1st. So if you buy between the launch, which I'm hoping will be tonight, it should be tonight, and January 1st, you'll get the best price on that Self-Defense Essentials course. You can get all the information about everything I do. Get on the newsletter list, because that contains a wealth of information as well at enjoylifesafely.com. Until then, make it a spectacular Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about Zootopia 2, a fun movie the wife and I went to last night.